Oh!
Something went wrong.
Oh, you gotta trust the process.
Relax, right? We're live.
Looks like it.
I didn't name the.
Yeah, we're live.
I didn't even name the thing though. Okay. Oh man, it's alright.
At least you know it works.
Yeah. Go ahead, start.
But yeah, I don't. Twice a day.
What are we reading?
It's chapter 5 of
Proverbs
Proverbs, I
5?
think, yeah.
Proverbs 5.
What else?
And Matthew. We're just doing 6, right?
I'm not sure if we're in 6 on Matthew. Oh no.
Honestly, I am a snack person. I love snacks. Like I could fuck up some snacks. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
But-
you know how the episode opened up?
How?
Honestly?
How?
You know?
No.
It was with you saying, you were like, what the fuck? Man, what the fuck are you doing? Right, that's literally how the
Who was I
episode
talking
opens.
to?
You were talking to me.
About what?
Because you messed up my thing.
Oh yeah, I messed it up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Accountability, huh?
Yeah.
What's the...
We're on Matthew what?
Matthew 5.
Yeah, of course. I fucked about that.
Your phone nothing changes.
Matthew 7.
That's 7?
Or Matthew 6, but we didn't finish the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we're on-
Matthew 6, but Proverbs 5, right?
Yes.
Alright.
Are we live on YouTube?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube, of course.
You know, someone gave me this idea real quick before we start. How, like, what if we think about putting the podcast on Spotify so people could
I
listen
agree.
to it there?
I agree. We should do it. And it seems easy to do.
Hmm.
Oh, actually, I don't know how to do it at all.
But you would like to do it. I mean, me too. Because
Hold on, my bad. Let me talk into the mic.
Yeah,
my
talk
bad,
to the
my
mic,
bad.
talk to the mic. Yeah.
Okay. I said it seems easy to do, even though I don't know how to do it at all. But I've seen people at a lower level, like podcast-wise, be able to do it. So I'm like, why not us?
right.
You know?
Because they gave me that idea. They're just like, if we can't catch the live, but we still want to listen, and you know, we
At
want to
least
be
just listen to it.
we want to be able to like close it while we're driving or something like that. You know, switch apps. Have you ever thought about putting it on Spotify? And I'm like, I'll bring that up with the boys, see what they think.
Yeah, I think that's feasible. I mean, it absolutely is. Obviously, people do it, so
Mhm.
it's just a matter of figuring it out, which it shouldn't be much of a problem.
Just probably making an account and uploading it, maybe. We'll look into it for sure.
Yeah. Maybe we'll. Yeah.
Do we have any of the audio saved? I mean, we can just download it from YouTube now.
Yeah. We can download it from YouTube. And you'll just see like 30 episodes drop in one day though. But that's fine. For all of our Spotify users, do not use Apple Music. Apple Music's whack. It's lame.
Spotify is the one.
Spotify is superior.
Are you a Spotify user? Okay. I know they're easy, so I just like it.
We all have to be professionals. Only be on Spotify, not Apple.
Nope.
Apple already makes too much off us.
They do. Just to make an inferior product. Alright, I'm going to try to do this.
I heard Steve Jobs called this with the iPhone
Mm-hmm.
that eventually, once he's gone, once he passed, the iPhone was just gonna be like popping out. Like it wouldn't be about quality and trying to improve anymore. You know, it'd be
Mhm.
more of just quantity. If that makes sense.
They did. I think you already mentioned that they did everything that he didn't want them to do.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'll just buy a phone. So
Just to use it as a tool.
yeah.
Thank goodness I have this back. Right.
I need to start bringing mine, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Especially with your phone about to die.
Bro, I can't believe it. I discovered reading. I discovered the library. I really, bro. I don't know why. Like I said, I spent 3-4 hours there,
Real quick.
and I was hooked, bro.
Real quick, round of applause. Raul, learn to read.
Thank you.
Libraries in 2025, gang. What are we doing?
Raul knew how to. Now he knows how to read.
Thank you. I discovered a library, bro.
He discovered
And I was over here angry. I was just like, why did no one tell me, bro?
It's not like school was trying to or anything.
I mean, when you go to school, though, like, for example, high school, there's no books about business, books about finances, books about philosophy. I
What
don't
kind
know.
of books are in schools, actually?
It's more like, I don't know.
I used every library but the school library.
storybooks. That's all I saw, and that's not what I'm into.
No,
I know
yeah.
a lot of people enjoy storybooks, graphic novels, whatever the fuck else. Excuse me. Whatever else.
Can't,
You read
can't
it?
help yourself.
Dude, the libraries will get it out of them.
But
they'll help you out there.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. And then I walked in there. There's this lady next to me. I'm like, hey, can we? So you're telling me I can just grab one and just sit down anywhere and start reading? And she was like, yeah, you can just grab a book and start reading and be in here however long. I'm like, bro, and no one told me this, and it's all for free. It's all for free, bro.
That's crazy.
Taxpayer dollars.
Putting them to good use, though.
I don't pay taxes.
The world is healing. Ragu discovered libraries.
We discovered books.
We're going in the right direction.
Knowledge.
God bless.
God bless.
But
The world is
of
healing.
course, we got the book of all books, the greatest book of all time, the number one, the only book you will ever truly need in your life, the most important book that you will ever read and that you will continue to read over and over and over again. The Bible, the book of books, and we are in the book of Proverbs, and we are at chapter 6, I believe, or 5.
5.
All right, 5. Okay. Now,
Let me read.
I said I'm eating, so I don't know which one of y'all want to read.
Put your
Yeah,
library
put
test
Yeah,
skills.
I want to become a better reader. So
Were you just for a side note, were you one of those people like when you had to like popcorn read in class, counting your paragraphs ahead of time and like matching the people in front of you so you can just practice your paragraph so you don't stutter or anything?
no,
like that?
I was the kind of person that wouldn't pay attention. I sucked at reading, and I sucked at reading and writing. I was good at math. I was good at like those kind of classes. Science, yeah. Sucked at reading and writing. And then I was that one guy that would never do the summer project.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Would do it last minute. Would when the school when school started, I would cheat. You know,
You just unlocked the hidden memory. I remember them school
I would
projects.
just get someone to do it for
Oh,
me or pass me the notes.
Remember the summer readings we would have?
Those suck,
Yeah, that's
bro.
what he was talking
No.
about. The
What was Animal House? Farm?
Animal Farm.
Animal Farm.
And then, like, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Mockingbird.
there was another one.
Those two for sure.
And guess what? I still
Ethan?
I don't remember. I stopped taking advanced writing when I was a junior, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But I never read those, bro. Never read them. Still passed. Shout out to my classmates for a.
Shout out for the assistants.
Yeah, for a. But yeah, I was one of those guys. I wouldn't do it, and I was bad at it just because I don't know. It wouldn't catch my eye.
Well, here's your redemption arc.
Real quick before we start again,
Go ahead.
are there things that you want to specifically work on while you're reading? Like, are there what exactly do you not like about, or do you want to fix?
I think less monotone, more fluid, or like fluent. I guess that would describe it, or smooth. You know.
I would say I think monotone. I think flat. When I think the opposite of monotone, I think like bright. And you read with the way that it's like, because just like everything in text, it ebbs and flows. It has peaks. It has divots. Whenever it's trying to tell a certain story, every story has that, right? It goes up, it's ups and downs. So I think our voice reflects that, and so I think it's like practicing, maybe enunciating certain things, and maybe your cadence as well, how fast you speak. slowing it down,
That's true.
changing the tempo.
Pausing.
I tried to really emphasize the commas, the periods, like
Right, those are the
pausing.
things that are often ignored. Like you were in band, right? So you know dynamics, when to go high and to go low. Like just for this first sentence, when he's trying to get our attention, he says "my son." So you like, in my eyes, I would see that as like say that kind of loud,
Mhm.
get someone's
Boy.
attention. Yeah, like boy,
My son.
my son, and then pay attention to my wisdom. You know, like get the attention, then go into it. Pause because there's a comma. You know, just kind of practicing the pause. I think pauses and the way like, your monotone, like you said, changing it from soft to loud, makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Just from those two things.
I also enjoy. I noticed it with people reading the homily at church. They seem, I don't know, to me, in my opinion, it seems like they read ahead, but they're still reading, if that makes sense. And then they're able to read, look down at it, and then they start looking up at it, and they finish the sentence. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I get
I'm
that.
just like, that's
It's impressive,
that's
right?
impressive. I'm like, okay, that's a skill. It's a
yeah,
skill.
it is a skill.
But okay, let's go ahead and start.
Let's see.
All right, Proverbs chapter 5, verse 1. Warning against adultery. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Turn your ear to my words of insight, that you may maintain discretion and your lips may preserve knowledge. For the lips of the adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as gall. Sharp as a double-edged sword, her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel. Lest strangers feast on your wealth and your toil enrich the house of another. At the end of your life you will groan. When your flesh and body are spent, you will say, how I hated discipline. How my heart spurned correction. I will not obey my teachers or turn my ear to my instructors, and I was soon in a serious trouble in the assembly of God's people. Drink water from your own cistern. Is that how you pronounce that? Cistern?
Yeah.
Running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares, let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your paths. The evil deed of the wicked ensnare them. The cords of their sins hold them fast. For lack of discipline they will die, led astray by their own great folly. Folly. Proverbs chapter 5.
There's a lot in this one. I want us to read it again. I want us to read this again. There's a lot in here. So, Jeremy, do you want to read it?
Sure.
We'll break it down.
Start back. Like you want me to pause
start
after?
reading it, and then we'll find pauses to talk. But I think going over and reading, like subdividing this into sections, because there's a lot. I think there's a lot in here.
Okay, we can do
So-
that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen closely to my understanding, so that you may maintain discretion and your lips safeguard knowledge. Though the lips of the forbidden woman drip honey, and her words are smoother than oil, in the end she's as bitter as a wormwood, and as sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps head straight for Sheol. She doesn't consider the path of life. she doesn't know that her ways are unstable.
We can pause right there, yeah. So I think in this part, at least, I don't know, I guess it's God calling out to my son, pay attention to my wisdom, turn your ear to my words of insight. And it's just basically warning us about an adulterous woman. And, I mean, you can ask, what is an adulterous woman? It's basically a cheating woman. And it describes her by being very smooth. Her speech is smoother than oil, but in the end, she is bitter as gall,
Hey,
sharp
Riri.
as a doubled-edged sword.
Thanks for joining, Riri.
So, I think, like I said, God's calling us to listen, to pay attention to his teachings, and warn us of a woman like that.
Well, do you think that an adulterous woman is that representative of just that, or could it have maybe layered meanings behind it? This is just a question.
I think it can be layered. The reason why I say that is because I don't think. I mean, of course, you should be wary of a woman that's cheating, right? But I think you should also be worried about women like that in general.
Maybe adulteress is. Maybe we could. I don't know if we could substitute it because I don't want to substitute the word of God, but maybe promiscuous.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Yeah.
Is that fitting?
I mean, I would use a different word, but yeah.
Yeah, we know
We know what word you would use.
Yeah.
You would say it out loud right now if you could, just
You
like
say it
you
out
usually
loud,
did.
Yeah.
For me though, this Bible is kind of like the Bible for dummies. We were talking about the for dummy series, right?
Yeah.
And it has subtitles. It has like little pages of like if you're asking
Has
questions, endnotes, all that stuff. And this one it says the subtitle for this one is avoid seduction.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we can see how those promiscuous, adulterous women are gonna try to subduct. Because we've always talked about men always, not men, women always go higher. Like they always try to get better. They
Yeah.
find something, and if they see something better, they're gonna go for it. You know, I say this humbly. We're probably gonna be. We're not probably. We are going to be better men than most. So when girls see that, or when seductive women see that, they're gonna try us. They're gonna test us. And right here, the word of God is telling us to avoid that, to avoid subduction, and just to keep going. Because in the end, you might be happy in the moment. Though her lips are the forbidden woman drip honey, and her words are smoother than oil.
That's actually a really good characterization of
It's just like you're falling in love with that feeling,
I
the
mean,
picture,
the honey.
the
it's
honey.
sweet.
And I
It
feel
tastes good. It adds what. And remember, at this point in time, they talk about paradise as the land of milk and honey, right? So like, it's everything that you. I heard this actually at church. Said with the milk meaning representing everything that you need, and the honey representing everything that you want, will makes your life better. And so by characterizing, this how she feels as honey, it's like us talking about anything that we specifically like, what we want in life, what's sweet to us. So that's why I say it could be multi-layered.
a girl telling you what you want to hear.
Exactly.
And I think I've learned this through experience, which is pretty crazy. Just because, I mean,
You've dabbled in the.
I've dabbled in the honey.
Dabbled in the antics.
You've dabbled in the honey packs.
What do you guys think of? What do you guys think of verse 6, when it says, "She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know it."
I think.
I don't know how's it read right there.
Mine says she does not ponder the path of life. Her ways are unstable. She does not know it.
Yeah, mine's the same.
That's how I, in my life, I feel like a lot of people are this way, right? They don't think about where they're going. They just live. It's like a day to day. Let's see what we're going to do today. What makes me feel good? What makes me happy? What feels pleasurable? And that's whenever I think we get into this trap of going for women like this, or for women's case, maybe in man, right? Because it feels good to our body, right? Sin is good. It feels good. Sin is sweet. That's why we fall for it. That's why we do it all the time. So I think with this, it's showing that the people that are more susceptible to falling into that trap are the people that don't think about life they don't extrapolate and they don't look from a bird's eye view. What's my path? Where am I going in life? And they just are aimless. And you don't even recognize how unstable you are. You're oblivious. You're ignorant to it. I say ignorance is bliss, but I think it's something that you don't know until you know. And maybe if someone tells you like, hey, have you ever thought about your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Where do you want to go after life? Where do you want your life to end up? And a lot of people around our age and younger in the college age group, I would say that majority of them would likely say, well, no, I don't really think that far. You know, like I'm just kind of focused on, you know, what's going on this weekend. Let me get my homework in. Well, I got to study for that exam later. But let's party.
Halloween party.
Majority, we were just touching on this. College is supposed to be fun. That's not what its intention is. It is supposed to be an educational institution meant to, you know, to add to your education and help you gain certain skills so that you can go out and be in a productive workforce, right? It's not supposed to be about partying, not supposed to be about getting drunk, not supposed to be about sleeping around. It's just what it's turned into. But what do you expect whenever you have a bunch of horny teenagers? You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect? So a lot of people are aimless in that way. They're just following the motions and not really thinking about, okay, what's the purpose of my life?
And what sucks is once they get to that age that they're past all of that and they're past their youth, you hear it more than often. Like, dang, I wish I would have tried a little bit more back in the day. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. I wish I wouldn't have partied so much, drank so much, smoked so much. You hear it all the time. We even hear it to this day. And
I think we can kind of resonate with that as well, like with what we've done. And real quick, Stephanie Valdez, thank you for joining. She said she's lost. That's what she says. Like she's with
Proverbs chapter 5.
Yeah, does not. Oh yeah, we're Proverbs chapter 5.
What kind of lost? Are we
What kind
talking
of loss are we
like?
talking about?
Yeah, are we talking like lost spiritually, mentally? You lost like like
Where
do you need a map?
Do we need to like?
Where's your location?
Do we need to
You
pull up
need
your
a
location? Do we need to call the authorities?
what kind of loss are we talking
What kind of
about?
loss are we talking about?
Proverbs chapter 5.
I put it in the title of this episode.
Okay, so that loss. Okay,
Yeah.
right?
I would
don't
assume.
know. I don't know, but yeah, I think this goes both for men and women. I think a lot of people fall into the trap of just chasing what feels good, or
Right.
pleasurable.
And Raul mentioned youth. I was thinking about the fountain of youth. A lot of people use their youth for bad. Specifically, good-looking people. Good-looking people. I think pretty privilege is a real thing. You go through that pretty privilege, but you're not pretty.
Why are you smiling, bro?
You're not pretty forever, though.
Why are you smiling?
That's what I'm trying to get at, though, right? And I think it's a lot more problematic for women than it is for men, because still at the end of the day, women are the ones that want to be the
They get
prize.
judged more based on
Right.
their looks.
That's something that I've come to learn. Looks don't matter for a man.
They don't.
Yeah.
What
Or the
matters for
values.
men is the values. And I was on the way here. I don't really normally listen to. Yeah, that too, right? I don't normally listen to music anymore on the way here. It's more of like the radio hosts and stuff like that. And one of the topics they were bringing up was nowadays, I think it's like 40% or maybe higher. I can't remember the exact number of Gen Z don't date no more. They only date for free meals. Like, girls only date men for free meals now. So, in essence, we're still a pocketbook. We're still, for most, I'm not speaking for all, majority, and that's just based off what they're talking about as well. So, we connect that to this. You're only going to get free meals for so long. But if you find a husband, or if you actually want to make your ways of life more stable, then you'll have free meals the rest of your life and not having to worry about, okay, who's next? Is this guy it? Is this guy it? Is that guy it? Because in the end, youth doesn't last forever, and those good looks fade. You get wrinkles, your eyes dim, you lose hair, everything starts to diminish, but what's going to be there forever is your soul. So if you have a good soul, then yeah, you can get free meals every day.
There's this one guy at the gym that I see pretty much every day. His name's Alan. I don't call him by his name. I just call him my friend.
What's up, man?
He's in his 60s and a real cool, energetic guy. Everyone gravitates towards him. He's like the guy that everyone says hi to. Everyone knows him. And I asked him, I said, man, how are you so happy-go-lucky? Like, how are you so bright and vibrant? You know, and, you know, you're an older man. Like, how I want to be like that whenever I get your age. And he said that mainly he was like, well, I was kind of born this way. But I think the main thing is that I can't find any reason to complain. Like life, there's no reason for me to complain in life. Like I have my health, I have my family, like I'm good. Like what's there to really complain about? If you're healthy and you have the people that you love around you, your bills are paid, there's no real reason to be complaining. We find these little things that we like to nitpick in our lives, like, oh, well, maybe, I don't know, I had this little interaction with this person today. It really bothered me. Person that I don't care about. I had someone be rude to me. Oh, I don't know, maybe I accidentally made a mistake at work and it's really bothering me. Like all these little things that will happen in your life every day. Every day is a load of crap just getting unloaded on you, and you just navigate your way through it, right? But instead of getting caught up on all those small things and letting that ruin your day, you just take the time to take a step back and be like, you know what? I got my health. I got my loved ones. What more can I ask for at the end of the day? And so that's kind of the perspective that he gave to me, and he was like, that's why I'm able to be so happy at his age. But he really is. He's very energetic. He's a great guy. But, yeah, I think with a lot of people, it's just falling into that trap of chasing what's pleasurable, being very hedonistic. We're a very hedonistic society, and but it's aimless and meaningless at the end of the day. And I think unless you have true meaning in your life, I don't know if you could ever really have peace, right? Maybe you enjoy chaos, but I think at some point
like
we
the
all
Joker.
want peace.
We're all a little bit
spiritually. That's what you said. Well, thank you for joining the number one podcast, the World Confessions podcast.
And hopefully we can help you out with that.
Yeah, hopefully.
But let's keep going.
Hey, exactly how it says. I mean, she gives no thoughts to the way of the life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I like to think of the Bible as the book of life. You know, it gives you direction. So
yeah,
hopefully the number
It
one
gives us
podcast in the
direction.
world can give you some direction.
And I'm not gonna lie either. If this helps you at all, I wasn't having the best day. I've kind of found myself taking a mental hit recently. But every time I come and I read the Bible with the boys, I always feel a little bit better. Actually, a lot better. Yeah, it's actually a lot better.
The thing about this podcast, man, especially as we've transitioned to being primarily faith-based and reading the Bible every day, or every episode. It's something that I told y'all, man. I look forward to this every week, and it really helps me. It really
It's a Bible study.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. The essence.
What's funny is that we're not even. I wouldn't even characterize this as like a religious podcast. You know what I mean? But we read the Bible. So
yeah, it's just something that helps us, and that we hope would help you too. Because I mean, like I came in here kind of low energy, and just reading it makes me. I'm already feeling a lot better, especially with the cold. I don't know if y'all believe in like seasonal depression or something like that, where just like the cold makes you a little bit more in the blues.
I think seasonal depression's more about like the holidays. Like that.
I think for me it's just the weather, because I mean I don't really
the weather
like
does make you want to stay inside more, so that's the thing. But here I'll start off on verse 7. Now then, my sons, listen to me, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Keep your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house, or you will give your vigor to others and your years to the cruel one. And strangers will be filled with your strength, and your hard-earned goods will go to the house of an alien, and you groan at the final end when your flesh and body are consumed. And you say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart spurned reproof. I have not listened to the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to the instructors. I was almost in utter ruin in the midst of assembly and congregation.
I feel like that little part is basically stating, stay away from these things, or basically you're going to regret it. I feel like.
Yeah, and I think
feel like it's
the
that
ways that
simple
it
in
makes,
one.
the reasons why it lists, it says, you will give your vigor to others and your years to the cruel one. Your vigor, your vigor is like your, how do you say? I want to say like your energy. I want to say in essence, that's kind of what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I want to look that up. But you're giving your energy to these people, giving your time, because it says your vigor and your years. Your time and your energy. The two most valuable things that you own, because they're finite, they're always depleting, and you never know when you're going to run out. Your entire life essence is given to these people that don't deserve it, and they will be filled with your strength. They will take life away from you, and it will uplift them while taking you down. And then my hard-earned goods, everything that I've worked for, will go to the house of an alien, someone who doesn't belong here. Someone doesn't belong in my life. That sounds terrible, right? And then it says you will grow into your end, your flesh and your body are consumed. But we talk about these things all the time, about investing your time and energy with people who uplift you and people who are on the same path as you, staying away from people who are in that lifestyle that is what we're not aspiring towards. We're not looking to party, we're not looking to drink, we're looking to work, we're looking to grow, and in every aspect of our life, in business and personal, in our relationship with God, in our family life. And it's exactly saying here, this is what this type of lifestyle leads you towards. What did I mention earlier about people they're going down a path that they don't even know. They're just living life, right? Pleasurable. They're just chasing the next high. This is chasing that life leads you to this. This is what I feel like this is a warning, right? If you go down this path, you live life for yourself, only chasing pleasure, only chasing what feels good, this is what you're going to end up doing. You're going to end up giving your life to people that don't deserve it. You're going to end up losing your strength, and you're losing what makes life go, what makes you go, and everything that you've worked for, you'll lose it. And it sounds obvious when you think about it, really. That's what that type of lifestyle leads towards. But it's just emphasizing it here. And I think this is a warning. And I would say that even in my own life, I've experienced this, where we were down that path, right? And I look back at it and I'm like, I was a loser. I was a freaking loser, bro. And I felt lost. I felt like I was just living day to day. And then what did it lead me towards? I was depressed. I was fat, lonely, no confidence. I was down terribly. I was down horrendously.
It's like, there's no wonder girls didn't want me.
No wonder girls didn't want me.
I look back and I'm like,
there's
the same way.
No wonder. Now you look at me, confident. I'm handsome. I dress good. I smell good. I mean, I'm working on building myself, but the thing is as I've gotten closer to God, my confidence has grown. And I think part of my confidence is knowing what to not do. Because, hey, you know what? The book of wisdom, the book of Proverbs, is telling me to avoid these things. You know what? That's some good advice. Let me avoid these things. And sure enough, my life has continued to improve. And so that's how this pisses me off, actually. The thought of giving my time and my energy to people that don't deserve it, wasting it away, giving it to strangers who steal my life away from me, my hard-earned goods going to someone who doesn't even belong here, that pisses me off. That makes me angry. So, I don't know.
It kind of brings up a question too. Like I said, I micro-learn a lot, so when I'm scrolling, I see a bunch of quotes, and one of them was, as a man, we need to learn to stop saying too much. Would you kind of relate that to this? Spending your time and energy, if you don't know that person, if they're not relevant to you, if they ask you like, hey, how's your day? Good. What'd you learn? Nothing. Like, that type of not saying too much. Whereas if it's someone who matters, like if y'all ask me how my day was, oh, my day was good, I did this, this, and this, what'd you learn? Oh, I learned this, because of this has happens. But if y'all aren't close to me and I don't know y'all and I want to save my energy, if someone would ask me a question, I'm just like, oh, it was okay. Being a man of like less spoken words, could you relate that kind of to this? If giving your time and energy to those things that are very finite?
You can go first.
I don't know. I think I can relate to that.
Right?
A
little bit.
The only ones that can get me somewhat to yap are you guys, my mama, and that's really it.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, I don't know if it's a trust thing. I don't know if it's just I don't want to give my time and energy to them. But I'm not. Don't get it wrong. I'm not disrespectful. I'm not a complete jerk.
No, it's just like you're not gonna give those details willingly if you don't want to.
And then I ask why. I'm like, because the power of the tongue. Once you open your mouth, you show the world who you are. And I always ask when someone asks me something, there's a point to it. There's always a point. That's how I speak. If I'm gonna speak to you, if I'm gonna speak to the world, if I'm gonna speak to you, if I'm gonna ask a certain question, I'm speaking for a reason. I'm asking this question for a reason, and I believe that's everyone. And when someone asks me something, okay, hey, like, what's your reason behind that? Why are you asking that? You know, there's always a reason behind something, always. So I don't know if that's a trust thing. I don't know if it's just
Like, you don't trust people's reasoning?
it's just, hey, let's get to the point. You know, like don't exactly how we're talking about. Let's get to the point. Don't waste my time and energy. If you want something, let it be known. Just be straight up. Be straight with me. You know, don't
Like a straight shooter.
yeah,
Women,
don't
take notes.
don't beat around the bush.
Like
You
a
know,
straight shooter.
don't.
Take your pants off.
She's like, yo,
Tell 'em.
I'm just here for a free meal.
And I understand that a lot of people aren't like that. I understand that.
Mhm.
I'm pretty straightforward with it, but
It's respectful. It's respectful.
I think you can connect the two, the quote that you just mentioned and this verse right here, especially when it comes to energy and communicating. You know,
I think it's also an indicator of someone who values their time and energy,
yeah,
right? Who understands that worth. Now, my answer to that is, as I mentioned, my friend, right? I met him randomly at the gym. We were in the sauna, and I just said hi to him, and then just shared a few words back and forth. And then I've just been seeing him again and again, and beginning to know him better, beginning to get more acquainted with him, along with other people that also know Mr. Allen. I said he's a very popular figure at the gym because of his vibrant and bubbly personality. And so I've been able to meet some other individuals. I met this man yesterday. His name was Verlin. His name is Verlin. Older gentleman as well. I'd assume I think he said he's in his 70s. And I had a wonderful conversation with him and talking about life. And I asked him, like, as an older man, and he seemed wise, and he was very articulate. And I asked him, I was like, what advice would you give to me as a young man who's just trying to do the best that he can to become the best version of himself? And, you know, he gave me his advice. And in short, he was just like, be smart with your money. The right woman will come. Just be patient. And what else did he say? He gave me, what was the other one? And then, I think he said just to keep working. Like, the time will come whenever you're ready to have fun, but just focus right now. Focus on what you're doing, and later on in your life, you'll be able to reap the benefits of that.
Man, I really enjoy asking that question. Like, what advice would you give to a younger man like me, coming from an older generation? Because there's so much wisdom, and I think of one of my clients. What's his name? Johnny. I forgot his name, but I asked him, what kind of business advice would you give me? He was like, get a prenup.
Straight with it.
He reminded me of Matthew McConaughey, like his style, the way he talks. He's real.
Matthew McConaughey is an excellent.
He's like,
speaker.
all right. He's like that. The accent, the
Yeah.
Texan accent.
A real
All
deep
right,
Southern
all right,
accent.
yeah.
So we talk with a
And
southern accent for the rest of the show.
that's something that really stuck out to me,
Crazy.
man. He was just like, man,
Get a
prenup, and he was just like, also he was just kind of similar to what that older gentleman said. Just keep going, keep going on your path. Go all the way.
And why I bring that up is because that was a stranger, right? And the conversation that we had I not been open to it, I had just shut him off and just said, hey, how you doing? I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet with this person. Then guess what? I run into him today, and I see him, and he's like, hey, Derek, how you doing? Right? And he's like, and then he's talking to Alan, and Alan's they're talking about me in front of them. Hey, man, he's so respectful. He's such a good guy. Like he always has a great energy to him. He's like happy, very respectable. And then Verlin tells me, he's like, man, I really enjoyed our conversation yesterday. Actually, I talked to my friend about it later on that night. I told my friend about you, Derek, and I said it was just a pleasure meeting him. It was a wonderful kid, and you know that meant something to me, right? I left an impression that he went to go talk to his friend about, and so like there are conversations that I believe are meant to be had, especially with the way that God uses people. because God uses people. He does. How many times have we ran into somebody, we encountered somebody, and they told us something, and it just kind of confirmed that we know we're going down the right path. This conversation enlightens
so many times, bro.
This conversation enlightens me, and I think that's what happens. God uses people, and so I think there are times where you can recognize this is the person worth talking to. Or not even worth talking to, but this is a conversation I should be open to having. So when it comes to like men more of our age, it's a little bit different, especially women, because a lot of it is dating marketplace. But just another guy that I met the other day, his name's Cooper. I met him. He was talking to Mr. Allen. They were talking back and forth just about coffee, I think. And after he was gone, I was like, yeah, man, he's a great guy. And then we started talking about God, right? I started telling him about, he's a little bit younger than us. And so he was just like, man, I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. Just graduated, and I'm trying to figure life out. And I just told him my story. I was like, look, let me tell you, when I graduated, life hit me hard. I lost everything. I was at the lowest point in my life, but I leaned on God, and God was able to carry me through it. And now I am where I am today, having this conversation with you. And he was like, yeah, I feel like God ordained this conversation to happen. And so look at that. Another conversation that I had with this fine gentleman, and we were able to bring up God into it, and I felt like it just strengthened my relationship. Like, it just confirms that, you know what, he's using me to connect with these people, and he's using them to connect with me. Like, this whole life is a relationship thing. That's what life is all about. It's about the relationships that we build with our friends, with our family, with the people that we have watching us, with the people that we encounter on our day-to-day, our communities. We work together to try to make a safe environment for our children, make a more prosperous environment for our businesses. That's what life is all about, relationships. So I think not being so shut off to not interacting, because a lot of us, we hide behind our phones. We stay at home. We don't want to go out no more. And that has weakened the relationships we have with our fellow American, our fellow citizens. And it's brought division, whether or not it was our intention to, but us hiding and staying away from one another has brought up that line. And now we just look at people through this. And it's a lot easier to judge people, and a lot easier to stand on your high horse and look down on people through this. How many times can you think about, you see hate comments, right? Guarantee not one hate comment, not person who hate comments would ever step up to us. Never. But this right here is a shield for the weak. You take away that shield, and you actually have to start interacting with people. Now that I actually see you, now I have to empathize with you. Now I have to understand you. Now I have to hear you out. And I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to say something out of pocket, because I don't want that smoke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think having these interactions, it's the same thing what Jesus did. What did Jesus do? He was a missionary. He went out and talked to everybody. Everyone had an opportunity to speak with Jesus. So I think us having the conversations is something that is powerful and is necessary. There are people that, mind you, there are conversations that aren't worth having. There are people that are just life drainers.
I think that's something that you touch base on a little bit. You can tell from energy.
You can tell.
You can tell. Yeah.
You can tell from energy. And I think I've gotten better at honing in at what conversations are worth having and what conversations are not. And I've been able to meet some very fine people from it.
Yeah, and I just kind of bring that up because, you know, talking to people you haven't talked to in forever, or meeting new people, networking, kind of like how you did, I feel like that could be a very good network for you. But the story that made me, the testimony that made me in who I am today, it's a long story. And the story requires stories for context. So it's a bunch of stories upon stories, just like we all have, right? But is it worth it to constantly tell those stories? Because you get kind of tired of telling them. And then in the end, they won't really understand. And then in the end, do they really even care? They just see you're a product of those stories. So I think about, should I even tell them what's happening, what happened in this past year, what I've been up to, here's what I'm doing, here is this, here's that, because it's so much. And it's like, is it even worth it to constantly tell people, every person I meet, that same story, same story?
I think I can relate to you on that, because for me personally, I feel at least I haven't won yet, you know, so that's why I don't speak much on my story yet, and every single issues and troubles that I've gone through, that I go through. Like, I think of, let me win first. Let me get through it. Then once I build the man that I want to become, then I'll start my story. Then I'll start my journey.
And what helps me a lot too is kind of the gospel from last week, it was pretty much telling us to do everything in silence. Don't
Yeah.
boast about it. Don't gloat
Yeah.
about it. So I'm kind of still in that same
Yeah.
boat right there. As far as that goes,
Then even taking inspiration for me at least from Jesus, you know, he had to become a man first, you know, and then eventually once he became a man, that's when he started his missionary. That's when he went and started telling his story and sharing his thoughts and everything. You
that's
know?
one thing that helps me a
So
lot.
that's
I'm
what
like,
I take inspiration
I
from.
might feel
So I'm
behind,
like-
but he started at 30, so
He started at
I'm
30, so
close.
you
I'm
got a
doing
chance.
good.
and something else that I know Derek mentioned this last podcast, I believe. We don't realize how much we have grown either. You know, we do have a story to tell. We have plenty to talk about. We have experience to talk about already, you know? So at the same time, don't, I guess, beat yourself up and make it seem like, you know, your story isn't worth hearing, because it is.
Look at you.
That's some Riz right. That was Riz right. That was Riz right.
Man, that library is paying off.
That was Riz, I
Let's
think.
finish this chapter and then we'll move on. All right. 15. Verse 15. Drink water from your own cistern and fresh water from your own well. Should your springs be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be yours alone and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed and rejoice in the wife of your youth. As a loving hind and a graceful doe, let her breast satisfy you at all times. Be exhilarated always with her love. For why should you, my son, be exhilarated with an adulteress and embrace the bosom of a foreigner? For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he watches all his paths. His own iniquities will capture the wicked, and he will be held with the cords of his sin. He will die for lack of instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he will go astray.
I know this chapter is really talking about a lot of adultery, right? And when it comes to adultery, especially, I mean, just how it's kind of described in, even throughout this chapter, a lot of people think, oh, it's cheating, like on an individual, on a wife or a husband, right? But this little section that you just read makes me think of really cheating on yourself in life, if that makes sense. It's not just specifically about adultery against a woman. I feel like it's adultery against morals in a way, and doing the right thing. And similar to these past chapters, it describes life, or I guess life as a woman. That's just something that popped up in my mind. And when we read these words here, I think of a bigger picture of just life, rather than just committing adultery against a woman, you know?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. This one right here, it feels like it has a lot, and it's kind of changing its tone as it's going through. I kind of read this right here, where it says, "Should your springs be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be yours alone, and not for strangers with you." And I think that's kind of like what we were talking about, being fresh water from your own well. And whenever at least in the Bible, especially in the gospel, water is seen as the source of life. And Jesus says, "I will become living water. You will drink from living water." And so I think whenever it says water, maybe we could say it's like your life energy, right? It says, "Fresh water from your own well. Should your springs be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets." That makes it sound like you shouldn't be, or it says, "Let them be yours alone and not for strangers with you." Not letting everyone have access to it. Not having strangers to have access to your life energy. It says, "Let your fountain be blessed and rejoice in the wife of your youth." Now, the wife of your youth, I don't know exactly if that means a wife.
See,
Like,
that
what does wife of your
that makes
youth
me
mean?
think of energy or life in general,
Yeah.
rather than, that's why I'm stating.
Like the joy of life.
And
As youth.
when we look back at these previous chapters,
Mm-hmm.
it uses she a lot, wife a lot. Like it describes
Yeah,
life
her.
as her, you know,
Mhm.
as a woman. So that's what made me think that way.
So maybe it is. I mean, I'm sure it is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Alluding to more than just women, but I think with your life, basically how you said, don't waste it away, and rejoice in the youthfulness of your life, and be satisfied by what life gives you. Be exhilarated, like look forward to the next day, you know, enjoy your life. And you don't have to betray your morals and give your life away to someone else to feel exhilarated. You know? I think that's a good way of characterizing it.
Yeah, it's pretty much saying enjoy the fruits of your own labor. On one hand, we got the seductiveness, the betrayal, the cheating. What did you say last or 2 podcasts ago? Marriage has a divorce rate of like what, 60% now?
It's
Yeah,
nearing-
it's-
nearing-
yeah.
So 60% is one half of this chapter. The other 40% is enjoying marriage, enjoying the fruits of your labor, finding that wife of your youth. You're putting that ring on your finger and say, hey, I worked so hard. I waited this long. God brought us together. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy marriage. Let me do the things for you that I've always wanted to do. I just needed to find the right person. Let me give you flowers. Let me take you on dates. Let me do
Be
this. Let me do that.
exhilarating.
Let me be exhilarating. Don't let that love die. Have that fire about it. Don't just be in a marriage because, oh, we had a kid, so we're just sticking it out for the kid. Or
What's that called?
What?
When you get married out of
wedlock.
what? Yeah, yeah.
And
What?
yeah, like where you
Wedlock.
get married because you have a kid before marriage.
Oh, okay.
So that kid's out of wedlock. But no, I've always told people I'm trying to bring back the value, the sacredness of marriage. Because nowadays it's like, oh, if the first one doesn't work out, let me try 2, 3, 4 more times. One of them will work out. For me, it's like I'm praying and I'm going for a one and done. I waited this long for you. I had the tunnel vision. I rejected all the. Well, now I rejected all the, you know.
Now,
Well,
now,
now.
now I do.
Actually, I'm doing my part. As of yesterday.
As of yesterday.
As of like 2 hours ago.
As of about 2 hours ago.
But anyways, I'm a
2
changed
hours
man
and 30
now.
seconds ago.
Mine maybe right before the podcast.
Right before the pod started.
But then you see, that was the 60% of it, right?
Bro,
So now I'm trying to be the 40% now.
Oh, I was actually thinking about the percentages, and I saw this. I don't know how true it is. Of course, I saw it on a Instagram reel, but it just broke down the marriages when it's to man to woman, woman to woman,
Oh, man.
man to
man.
man.
Which one was the most successful?
The most successful?
Yeah, man to
Man
man.
to man. Man to man.
Really?
By-
Yes, bro, and
by
that's
far.
what's crazy. And then woman to woman is a high
It's the
divorce
highest.
rate.
It's like 80.
Then so hey man, the
Bro,
stats.
Do with that information you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, do whatever. Yeah, do what you will with that information.
Before you avoid any financial entanglements. That's the next chapter.
But I like this statement right here. For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he watches all his paths.
Mm-hmm.
I think that right there is a powerful statement that kind of embodies what we're aiming for. Like the way that I like to describe myself right now, or what I want to attain. Right, my personal goal for myself and my relationship with God is to reach like David. David was known as a man after God's own heart, like a man that was so close with God, and that's what I want to choose. I mean, David, the father of Jesus Christ, you know, like the lineage. So I think that's what I'm chasing. Like that's what I'm aspiring for in my walk with God. And like I said, whenever you're not looking at your paths, you get led astray. You don't know where you're going. It's unstable. But whenever you're before the eyes of the Lord and he's watching over your paths for you, you can take every step with confidence. You may not know where it's going. Just keep it up. Keep it straight up, right? But at least you'll know that God's got your back. And that's one thing that we've always always emphasized in this podcast is with God by my side,
Can't lose.
can't lose.
Yeah.
Let me let's go ahead and move over to Matthew. Hold on.
What chapter are we on? Matthew what?
6, halfway, 19.
So baby, come pick up your
19 to
clothes. I've had them folded. Verse what?
19. Verse 19.
Okay. Treasures in heaven.
Matthew 6, verse 19 is where we left off.
19. All right. I'll start off, and then one of y'all can take over. Okay. Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in or steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Damn, that's good. All right, hold on.
I have that
Let me
highlighted.
keep going. The eye is the lamp of the body. So then if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light that is in your darkness, or if then the light that is in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth.
That one's heavy.
Yeah, I have that
Yeah.
highlighted.
I really like that one right
Yeah.
there. And-
Crap, I think we can talk
Can't-
about these right here.
I got a point right there. I got a point. It's because
It's a bar.
I forgot who I was talking to. I think it was my mother. And I'm sure she didn't mean it with like bad intentions. I mean, she was basically stating to me when I receive money, for example, like in a way, I don't know how she did. In a way, to me, how I understood it, it was almost giving worship and praise to money. And I was just like, I disagreed with her. I was just like, no, I can't. It was to my mom.
Oh.
It was with my mom, and I, like I said, I don't think she had bad intent behind it. I think it was more of being just giving thanks to God about me receiving money, right? I think that's how she was going more about it. But in a way, how I understood it at first, it was almost giving praise to the money, and I was just like, I disagree. I can't. I'm like, I don't know, kind of really similar to how this verse says you cannot serve both God and money. And I always am heavy on money don't make me. You know, money don't make me. I make money. And I know, and I have this dream in my head that one day God's going to bless me. God's going to bless me. And that's who I'd rather follow. That's who I'd rather give all my faith, all my trust into God. And eventually all this wealth, and not just financially, all this wealth will come to me.
Yeah, and I remember us talking about this. We've had countless conversations, I think, involving money, especially based off of where I was at about a year ago. And one thing that I always like to say is, I don't work for money, right? Kind of how you sound like. You're like, it's the saying goes, I don't work for money, money works for me.
Money don't make me, I make money.
So it's like basically the same saying, but I end it there. Like, I don't work for money because I don't. And I think I've switched my path towards chasing money because money comes and goes and God's always going to provide. I've learned that. And so what I'm chasing is purpose. What I'm chasing is fulfillment and gaining XP as a character, right? A character in this game called life. I'm trying to level up. And as I level up, I start unlocking certain things and money and riches fall into my lap, right? So, but that's not the goal. It's a byproduct of the work that I'm putting in.
And this is something that we constantly preach about. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the money. The money will come.
The money will come.
Do it in order to build the man you want to become.
Exactly. And that's
XP.
how I think about it as well. With this, for example, with everything that we've done for KRUE and Confessions, we haven't made a dime. Haven't made a dime off of Confessions, right?
Do it for the love of the game.
We do it for the love of the game and because it truly helps us grow as men. We talked about it, how much we've grown, and we can look back whenever we first started in January to right now, and just it's mind-blowing how much we have grown as men, how much XP we've gained. And we're still barely getting started. Mm-hmm. But what if money was the end goal? We probably would have stopped by now because we haven't made a dime. And we're not very close, right? So even if we're likely not gonna have a return on our investment for quite a time.
I've also seen it pretty common in a lot of wealthy people or a lot of people that have made a lot of money. They always say once you actually make a lot of money, like you can only buy and do so much, and you see a lot of these quote unquote rich people. Some of them go into depression. Some of them even commit suicide. Some of them go very, very negative because they come to understand that money isn't fulfilling. It's not, and you hear it. I don't know. I've heard it more than often that money doesn't build a man. You need to experience life, and money is just an additional to that.
I would say it's just a byproduct.
Yeah,
it's a byproduct, but like how you mentioned, there are people who worship money, who only work for money, and as soon as you realize that money can't buy happiness, you can't buy your way to heaven, right? You can't buy the way to your parents living longer. You can't resurrect the dead. You can't avoid your anxiety. You can't avoid your depression. You can't avoid your insecurities. You can't do none of that, right? By buying your way there. Can't. It's impossible. And so there's so many people that I know, that I've met, that plenty more money than I do, right? Plenty more money. And there's rich people out there, and there's influencers and things like that have a lot more money. But I'm like, I don't want to be nothing like you.
You look at the person.
I
You look at the person. Put the money aside. Who are you?
Yeah, put the money aside. Who are you?
That's one thing I've always emphasized too, and I've mentioned it quite a bit, that I don't care for the fame, the money, the following, the publicity. I've never cared for any of that. My success is something we always talk about. Not being able to not living paycheck to paycheck, having that family, inviting the boys over for some Sunday night football, being able to go on the trips without wondering if I'm going to eat the next day, taking your kids and giving them everything they deserve, even more than what we had, giving them good Christmases. That's my rich. That's my wealth. And like you mentioned, money's just a byproduct of that. As a man, being able to provide. Unfortunately, in this world, to provide, you need money. But that is just a byproduct of our hard work. Like me, I live way below my means. I spent hundreds of dollars in a day. I've stretched out $20 for weeks. I've gotten to where I had to wait the whole month for a paycheck, to where I got the paycheck in the month and still didn't even use anything. I'm the type of person where I live way below my means. I don't buy myself clothes. I don't buy video games anymore. At most, I'll buy something to eat, but that's pretty much it. Maybe groceries, and that's pretty much it. My essentials, hygiene. My bills just consist of a few subscriptions and my phone bill. Car's paid off, thankfully, blessed to have that. But as far as essential bills, my scholarships pay for, which the scholarships are a product of me putting in the work, applying for them, interviewing, getting letters of recommendation. My house or my spot is paid for the time being.
And also your dad. Also
And then
the
the VA, his sacrifices he made.
to serve the country.
So I'm getting income, but we always talk about live way below your means. If you don't need it, then don't buy it. Like I mentioned, I broke my headphones. All I got was some tape. I'm not buying a $200 pair of headphones until there's a song, I think it's like by J. Cole, who's like, we're gonna keep riding until the wheels fall off. But when these wheels fall off, they're gonna fall off. So I like resonate with that bar. It's like we're gonna keep going until the wheels fall off. But when the wheels fall off, you all four are gonna come off, but you're gonna put them back on and keep going. And that's one thing that I've always taken into account. And growing up in the family that, like, my mom and dad, they don't know what savings is. They just had a checking account. All the money went to the checking. They didn't know about investing, about stocks. And as soon as I turned 18, I was fortunate enough to be able to learn about that. And I learned about it the most when we went to Baylor. Met Jack, and from that moment, Jack Saggy, shout out him, man. He's the one that put me on that financial journey, and ever since then I've been on it. Not as heavy as I once was in the beginning, but I have the knowledge now, and I know about it, and I can teach my kids about it, and I can keep practicing it and getting better at it slowly but surely. So, we always talk about putting all your money in different little areas. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I think you were the one that actually mentioned this to me a while back. Like, what's the difference between rich and wealthy?
Mm-hmm.
Rich is like you win the lottery in one lump sum and you spend it all. Wealthy is you have multiple things, businesses, credit union, stocks, savings. You know, you got a little side hustle. If one of those fails, you still got 4 other sources of income. And that's kind of what I'm working on. I try to divide it among various things. And as much as I don't, like this class, it's a economics class, he kind of mentioned that compound interest he calls it the 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah.
Because it just, if you get a penny on the first of the month, by the end of the month, if it just doubles every day, it's like $1 million or something like that from a penny.
Yeah.
And I love learning those things and applying it. But when I walk around, people don't know that I know that. People don't know that, hey, my money's working for me. Or, hey, like I kind of like relate to Adam Sandler a little bit. How he's like, he has all this money, but he just goes to all these functions and he's wearing some basketball shorts, a little jacket.
Like a Hawaii.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, I wouldn't mind being like that. But mostly because if I got it, then my homies got it. We got it.
And I think part of it is kind of like how we're talking about with like worshiping money, right? It says right here, do not store yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy, where thieves break in and steal, but store yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And so I think whenever you talk about these people who worship money, they love, that's where their heart is at, in objects, in things. They rust, they fade, maybe they tear, they break. Doesn't matter. They're temporary. Someone can steal it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you're really, truly rich, you're focused on building your relationship with God in heaven. Building yourself up. No one can take that away from you. No one can take away that salvation from you. Unless you allow them, of course. But I think where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. I want to be chasing after God's heart. That's where I want my heart to be. And I know that that's because that's what's going to lead me to being the man that I want to be, the person that I want to be, the father, the husband, the son, the friend. That's what's going to lead me to that.
I got a question for you guys. Would you say money buys you happiness?
No, absolutely not. Otherwise, everybody who's rich would never kill themselves.
I would say no, but then I've seen a lot of other opinions where like, well, if money doesn't buy you happiness, I'll take your money right now since it don't make you happy. I mean, I guess it's essential for survival, and you're happy if you're surviving. For me, but it's kind of, I can see both sides to it. But if we all boil it down to one thing, and you can't take money with you, you can take God. Well, God's eternal. That's true happiness. But I think in the moment, people think that it can buy you happiness. Because it makes survival easier, and that's what we're out here doing, is surviving.
I think people don't even realize that they're poor because of how they think about money. Like, their approach to money, they want to be rich, right? But they're struggling because they're terrible with money. And they think, oh, if I only had more money, they would just get into more debt, right? They would have a lot more liabilities and assets. So I think people have this illusion, if I were to win $1 million. How many times have we heard people win the lottery? What happens? They lose it all and commit suicide. Because money doesn't fix all the problems that you have. People that build wealth, that actually build it from the ground up and learn how everything works, they're able to sustain it. Because it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And people who think that money will solve every issue in the world, they're the ones that lose all the money. And they're the ones that end up in a worse position than they were before they got money. And then they're all depressed because I thought money would fix everything in my life. No, it doesn't fix everything in your life. It gives you access to certain things. Money is a vehicle. If you don't know how to drive that vehicle, you're going to crash. If you know how to drive it, then it'll take you where you want to go. But if you don't know how to, it's pointless. Why am I going to let my 6-year-old son drive my Ferrari? Right? He's just going to crash it. He don't know how to handle that. Right? So I think that's kind of how you have to level up enough to learn, okay, this is how to drive this specific car, this specific style, in this specific road, on this street, right? So we're 6, 19 through 24. So I think that's partially what can make money bring you happiness. But I think anybody who actually is happy, or not even happy, but content, fulfilled with purpose, would say money doesn't buy you happiness. It buys you access, but at the same time, if you don't know how to use it, then what's the point?
I think, I'm going to be the devil's advocate right here. I think, yes, it does. But overall, if you worship it, no. The reason why I say yes, it does, is because imagine being able to pull your mother out of her 9 to 5, pay for all her bills, give her that dream life. Imagine doing the same for your dad. This is coming from parents that don't have money, you know, from my point of view at least. Imagine that. That's fulfilling, I think. I think that brings me happiness. Being able to, for example, take care of my people. You know, I think that'll bring me happiness, and that's a byproduct of using money as a tool, kind of how you mentioned. But to worship money, no, I don't believe you should do that. And exactly how we've been stating, money doesn't make the man. You know, so at the end of the day, you got to build yourself as a man or a woman. Worship God. You know, and that'll bring you true fulfillment.
Because I've seen people joke, it's like, dang, a trip to Dubai would make me happy right now. Or like, you know, buying a Ferrari right now would sure make me happy right now. But
and I'm sure
those are just possessions.
I'm sure it does, like, for however long it does, right? More than likely a short period of time. But imagine being able, if your parents are still working, hey, mom, dad, retire. Here, use this debit card, use this card right here, put all the bills on there, never have to worry about a bill again. I got it.
Yeah,
I got you. You
It's
know,
a double-edged sword to me, I think.
That will bring, that's food for the soul, in my opinion.
No,
you know,
it is. And so, but I think it's more attainable than not. It depends on how you live, right?
It also depends the person, because you can be a complete jerk, you know, a complete jerk off, and
say screw you, parents,
screw everyone, right?
Yeah,
and you go
turn
and
back on your day ones.
You throw everything away, and you know you reap what you sow, exactly how we mentioned before, you know. But I can agree as well as that money doesn't fulfill everything. You know,
it doesn't solve every problem.
Exactly.
Like, especially with relationships.
Exactly.
Right? I can't buy your friendship.
Exactly.
I have to work on it.
Yeah.
To work at it.
You can buy some. You can buy some friendships, but those aren't the friends you want.
Yeah.
Those aren't friends.
Yeah.
Those aren't friends.
Those aren't friends. They're just around you for what you got.
Exactly.
And as soon as you lose it, then guess what? They're going to what?
Nowhere
friends?
to be found.
Yeah. So there are things that money can't. There's problems that money can't solve.
Yep.
That's why I would say money doesn't buy happiness. Because if money bought happiness, then every problem that I had would be solved by money. But money does solve certain problems, which is why it's a yes and no. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's
a tool.
Just depends.
It's not the day.
Yeah. But
how do you
I want to touch on this real quick. We haven't touched on the 22 or 23. I want to read it again. The eye is the lamp of your body. So then, if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light that is in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? I wonder if you have a different translation for that. Do you have a different translation for that?
It says, it's very similar, to be honest. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness?
That's what mine says.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand what this is trying to say.
I think.
What is y'all's interpretation of this? Because this is more how do you say, like, whenever it's coded, I forget the word, but this one seems more, it's not straightforward what it's trying to say.
So I think, hold on, because I'm also reading it kind of around it, but I think with this, it all depends how you view the world, I guess, view life in general. That's how I think of it.
The eye is the lamp of the body.
And if you view, for example, the world or life in general or people, like everything to do with life, and with full of light, like in more of a positive matter, then you'll be healthy. But if you view it with constant negativity, full of darkness, in return, your whole body will be full of darkness. And how great is that darkness, Okay. And that negativity can be very destroying,
Okay. I remember.
That's what makes me think of.
I remember whenever we read that we're the light of the light of the world, and whenever it's refers to light is because light is what guides, right? Light gives us direction.
Also, I don't mean to cut you off, but
Mm-hmm.
the eye is the lamp. So how you view the world, I think exactly how I think that describes the eye being a tool,
Yeah.
like on how you view things.
Yeah,
So,
and I think about what does a lamp do? It illuminates. It allows us to see things, and then specifically here it says, if your eye is clear, so if you can see things clearly, your body will be full of light. I think that means you'll have a sense of direction. You'll know where to go, but if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. So I think if your eye is bad, which in this case it says if your eye is clear, so I would assume that if good is clear, bad means that it's foggy. It's not
dark.
Yeah, if it's dark. So if it's not clear, you can't see through. It's not opaque. I'm trying to think. I'm really thinking about vision and kind of how you're saying it. If you can see life in a more positive light.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think.
That's what it makes me think too.
And I think it describes in verse 22 perfectly that the eye is the lamp. It's the tool. If you view the world positively, like even if, let's make this very clear, negative shit always happens.
Mm-hmm.
Always happens. But this is a superpower that I've been able to acquire, and it's not 100%. It's not mastered. But let's just say you go through some shit, some negative thing happens, right? It takes, maybe, and some people call it delusion, but it takes a special kind of somebody to look at that matter and be like, you know what? Yeah, this happened, but what is this trying to teach me?
Mm-hmm.
How is this going to build me?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the brighter side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And verse 22, the eye is the lamp of the body. If you view the world in a positive manner, even if negative things happen, you'll light up.
Yeah, and
You'll be the light to the world.
You'll still be able to see clearly.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see clearly and know where to go.
Yeah.
Even if, I think that's a great way to characterize it, because if you let that get to you and you start to give in to the negative things that do happen, that's whenever now you don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Like what was once a clear path is now dimmed, dark. I can't see. There's obstacles in the way.
And I think I can say this on behalf of all of us, where before we've gotten this type of mindset, this sort of eye for life, being some negative thing happened to us, right, and we get into like a depressive mode. At least for me, I used to get into a depressive mode, this negative, woe is me, victim, and with that, you just literally send yourself down a downhill spiral. One negative thing happens after another. You start seeing everything as negative. You just become a negative person yourself. And I think in this last verse right here, what is it? Verse 23. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? And if you allow that one negative thing to change your eye, your lamp, into darkness, how great is that darkness, So
I think it's also kind of like what's his name? Can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. But he's a motivational speaker, the most popular motivational speaker in the world.
David Goggins.
David
Not
Goggins, that's what I
Goggins.
thought of
It's
too.
not Goggins. It's another one. He's been around for a lot longer.
Black dude.
No, he's a big old guy. Big old guy. He's worked with everybody, athletes, celebrities, everybody since like the 80s, 90s.
Curious now.
I'll look him up after the pod. But he said there's an exercise where he's like, all right, I want you to look for everything in this room that's green, right? So I'll give you a few seconds. All right, close your eyes. He says, all right, now tell me everything that was red. And you're like, shoot, I wasn't looking for red. He said, why? It's like, why can't you name anything that's red? Because you were looking for green. What you are able to think about, what you imagine, is based off of what you're focusing on. What you're focusing on is going to dictate how you view the world. If you focus on all the negative that's going on in your life, you focus on all the green things or whatever, the red things, whatever. That's what you're gonna notice. But if I tell you now, okay, now look for everything that's red, and then I tell you, okay, what's red? You're able to name everything. It's because you were focusing on it. So that's how our life is determined. The way that we view this world, the way that we view our life, is dependent upon what are we focusing on. Are we focused on everything that's going wrong and negative? Because guess what? I guarantee you, if I ask you to look for something green, you're going to spot a bunch of different green things everywhere. You're going to say, you know what? I think that's kind of a mint green. That's kind of like a dark green. You're going to find all these things in your life that are problems. Even if they're not big problems, you'll find small problems. You'll try to make them fit. But if you switch that delusionally optimistic mindset, you look for everything positive in your life. Everything that may not even be, you know what, my bills are paid, or like, you know what, I ate today. Maybe that's positive, even if it doesn't seem like that grand positive thing. Like, oh, I was cured of cancer, right? That's still positive, and you start looking for all those things in your life. That changes how you view the world, and it changes how you approach life. Instead of going to that depressive mindset and like, oh, the world's out to get me, boo hoo, I'm the victim, right? You start looking at, you know what, all these great things are going on in my life. Why would I be depressed? Why would I be a victim? You know, if anything, these positive things are showing me like, yeah, I can do something positive, you know? But if you view everything negative, then of course, well, I'm a negative person. Bad things always happen to me. There's nothing good that I can do, right? So I think it's a very powerful exercise. It's very simple, but I think that's exactly what you said. What we're reading in this passage.
I kind of got a little bit. I mean, it's kind of similar. I'll just add on for more of a idea. When it's talking about the eye being the lamp of the body, if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. I always believe that the eyes are the window to the soul. Pretty recently too, like I've mentioned, I kind of hit a wall and I'm still going through it. But I'm not focusing on just green. I've kind of learned to take a step back and, hey, to avoid all those negative things that are happening, appreciate how far you've come to combat those things that are trying to bring you down. Yeah, today was crap, but it's just a day. Look how the months prior to this were, right?
Tony Robbins, bro.
Oh, is he the one with like them fake teeth?
Yeah.
Bro, I was about to read one of his books there at the library too.
His books are great.
Yeah, he has a bunch of them. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Jeremy, but
No, you're good. You're
I
good.
don't remember.
La biblioteca.
I think I've seen like one or two of his interviews, but I didn't really know him like
I've
that.
seen his interviews. They're fantastic.
But where was I?
My
I
bad.
kind of lost my
I
train
know,
of
I'm so
thought.
sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it was like, okay, because recently too, there's been quite a few people that have looked at me and they say, hey, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, why? Because your eyes are tired, they're sad. I can kind of relate to this because we mention all the time that God relates the reading into what you're going through in your life. My dad too recently was one of those people. He said, are you okay? I'm just calling to check up on you because I've been thinking about you. I'm like, why? How, like, what makes you say that? Because I'm watching your podcast and I see your eyes and I know you. No one knows you like I do. He's like, I see you're tired. He's like, make sure that you take a break, that you appreciate how far you've come. Take care of yourself because at the end of the day, when you get sick, that's going to be your body telling you to stop. And you don't want to get to that point where your body's like, hey, stay in bed all day. You know, you get sick because it's getting colder. You have to go to the doctor. You know, your body's not getting enough sleep, so you can't rebuild those muscles or focus on what you're trying to learn. Your mind's everywhere but the task at hand. And that's kind of where I've been recently, because it gotten to the point where it's like people are noticing that my eyes are heavy, that they're not full of that lightness. that this is talking about. They're not being the lamp of the body. That flame was kind of going down. But as I acknowledge it and I appreciate it and I know, like, hey, kind of like an AA meeting, the first step is admitting, right? And I'm at the point where I'm admitting that, all right, let me take a step back, even if it's just for a day. Yeah, you could feel like this day's wasted, but in the long term, it's okay because your health is going to be all right. I've kind of come to realize, like, hey, if I take a day off to talk to my family, to visit family, not chasing all these possessions, because my heart is with my family, with those people that matter, not with things that are monetary, possessive, that aren't going to be with me when I die. My soul is, though. People around me, their soul is, though. So I'm okay with taking a break for myself to spend it with family, to spend it with friends, to get those experiences. Only though the people that I can count on one hand. I'm not going to go out of my way to hang out with people that I barely met. No, if it's like, hey, if my family wants to go to something, well, let's go. If y'all want to go do something, let's go. Like when we went to the carnival, yeah, we weren't working, but maybe it was a day I needed. Maybe I still had fun. Maybe it brought me out of a slump that I was kind of going into, right? So I'm kind of trying to still balance this whole thing where I am working, like, my schedule goes by so fast Sunday through Monday, just like all of y'all. But I still have to take a step back because my body is like, hey, something's not right. You know, if people are noticing, then something's wrong as well. But that's why I kind of get from this that people can see through your eyes. And once you have that light, you're the light of the world, and you can go through a dark tunnel, and then you just got the flashlight. You can see where you're going. But if on the other hand, if it's foggy, if it's not clear, you're going to be in darkness, and you're going to be a walking zombie just like everybody else and be lost looking for that light. So I feel we're that light, but we can't be so focused on being the light that it diminishes ourselves, and we like trying to give it to so many people. Because in the end, our light's just going to diminish and we're just going to be like them. So I feel like, yeah, taking care of yourself, making yourself a priority, doing things that are going to mentally make you happy. Like going to the library. You know, most people would have thought that was work. That was lame. But, yeah, it's work, but it was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You know, you enjoyed it.
Enjoyed
it was a mental thing. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, and going for a walk, clearing your head. Yeah, but people might look at it as a waste of time. You're walking, taking steps.
To kind of touch base on what the point you're making, I think of when David Goggins says that he has aid stations, and for many people it could be different things. For example, going to a walk, going to the library. For me, I often think about it is when I shower. You know, I take a moment for myself. I collect my thoughts. I collect it's my moment. You know,
right? And I think we all deserve to have that moment.
Or it's in the car when you sit in the car a little bit longer. You know, just to kind of just think. You know, you just get in your thoughts. Or in the sauna, even when I'm in the sauna, it's me by myself with my thoughts and God. You know, I think of it as similar how David Goggins mentions aid stations, you know, kind of taking time to recover. And for me, I don't like taking days. You know, some people are different. Some people need it. You know, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I have taken a day where I'm like, you know what, fuck everything, fuck everyone. You know, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Right, like today's for me, bro. Today's for me.
I'm gonna do what I want to do. No fuck all the responsibilities right now. But something that you mentioned about the eyes, man, and
the eyes, Chico, they never lie.
The eyes, Chico, they never lie. They never do. I don't know. Part of me, I think of Thomas Shelby. If you've ever seen the Peaky Blinders. It was Paulie, or I think her name is Paulie. I think it is. Did
Paul,
you?
They say Paul.
Paul. But I think it was either her or Tommy's sister. They were describing Tommy's eyes and how, like, in the present time, they're very, you know, serious, very dead almost. Like there's no light anymore in them. Mm-hmm. And they also mentioned how they used to have light, that he used to smile. Mm-hmm. And when I think about me personally, I can in some way relate to that. And which one would I prefer? I mean, In a perfect world, I'd prefer the light and be all sunshine and rainbows. But we're not in a perfect world. So I kind of like the dead look. Like, I think how
You want people to look at you and be like, "Dang, he's dead inside."
how I like the
I was born in it.
Tony Montana quote or the Scarface quote, "The eyes, Chico, they never lie." You look into my eyes and you can tell when I say something, I mean it. You can tell who they are by the look of their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always believed that. You know, you can see someone in their eyes when you're about to, for example, in MMA or when you're fighting. You can tell when you look across at your opponent if they're soft or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they do face-offs, fighters have mentioned this the most. When they face off against their opponent, they can already tell that they won the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Just by looking into their soul, looking into their eyes. And I think even in the Bible, it's mentioned the eyes are the way to...
the window to the soul.
Yeah, the window to the soul, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't necessarily say I want to have like a dead soul, but when you look into my eyes, you can tell, hey, this man has been through it. He has gotten through it. He has survived a lot. And just by looking into this guy's eyes, I know I can respect him, you know?
Yeah. And real quick, before we finish, just to touch on kind of what you were talking about as well, my take on it is it's something that Raul actually said a while back. I don't know what episode. But he was like, that time that I take to spend with my family or to focus on, like, my health, going to the gym and being in the sauna, maybe it's reading, maybe it's going on a walk, whatever it is, right? That right there is work. Like, it's a form of work. It's not, in my case, it's not, maybe it's not editing, maybe it's not real estate, maybe it's not marketing, maybe it's none of those things. But it's something that contributes towards my health and my well-being, helps keep me focused, and it gives me peace. And it gives me the will to keep going, right? It's what I'm working for. Because every moment that I spend with my family, I want to stay there longer, but it also, at the same time, it reminds me, this is what I'm working for. I'm working for them. This is everything that I'm doing is for them. So I think even that right there can be viewed as work, because you're not just messing around. You're not wasting time. It's productive. It just looks different. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one thing that I've taken from Raul is just because it's not your actual business or whatever, your school, doesn't mean that it's not work. Doesn't mean it's not productive.
A lot of people like to think of work as in just
a negative way, negative
a job. Oh, it's a job. It's a 9 to 5. Like, yeah. No, if you change exactly how Derek explained, if you change your perspective on actually, I mean, it's even spoken in these chapters that we've been reading. If you have a path, if you have a journey that you're on, always work towards it. Always, no matter what you do, work towards it. And eventually, once you change your perspective, everything turns into work. Everything. Yeah. The way you live, the way you eat, the way you speak, the way you rest, it's always productivity. And it's always working towards that dream, towards that goal, towards that journey. So I think, man, I don't even know where I got it from. I don't know if I got it from, I think I've got it from a variety of people. All the greats, man. All these ultra wealthy people, not just financially, all these ultra wealthy people, quote unquote successful people, talk about it. I know the Tates, they always speak about it. He's just like, I never rest. I'm always working. And you can't literally always be 24/7 just
locked in the computer.
Locked in on the computer on office. No, you're over here training. You're over here eating healthy. You're over here like that's
reading your Bible. Right?
Reading the Bible.
This right here is work.
It's work.
Working on your relationship with God.
Exactly, working on your faith. Mm-hmm. And even David Goggins, like how I just mentioned, the aid stations. He would literally go train, go work, do what he had to do, right? Mm-hmm. And then he would go into his aid station. How I mentioned, whether it's walking for you, going into a shower, taking a shit even. Some people take shits and they're like, just thinking they're like, in a way it's it's like a mental aid station, exactly how it's David Goggins mentions, and that's productivity. It's productivity. You're allowing yourself to collect your thoughts, maybe even physically give yourself a second, just because you can push past your limits. I believe that, but I mean, my dad said this just last week before he left. He says, as long as you have health, it's possible. But once that health goes to waste, you can't do anything. Like your health is kind of out of your control sometimes. So we got to be very thankful for that, and we also got to cherish it at the same time. So take care of yourself.
Yeah, and on that too, I also think that whenever you're working for money, right, you only see your job as that, right? Your job is what gives you a paycheck. So my 9 to 5, that's work, right? But whenever your goal isn't money, when you're not working for money, when you're working for becoming the better version of yourself, the best version of yourself that you can be, that's whenever everything becomes work. Because the end goal isn't, oh, I need to make this paycheck. The end goal is, I need to be the best version of myself possible. Like, I need to level up. I need to gain the most XP as possible. I want to be max prestige Derek, right?
1,000.
I want to be level 1,000 Derek. So that means I can't just be locked in for, a few hours out of the day, right? How am I supposed to grow that way? Everything that I do has to be intentional. When I cook, when I eat, when I sleep, whenever I'm working on my different jobs, whenever I'm by myself, right?
Oh my boy, yo, no, all right, my bad.
You ruined it, bro.
Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. My bad.
But yeah, everything becomes an opportunity to work, an opportunity to grow. Whenever that's the end goal, but that's also switching, like we mentioned before, switching your perspective on what do you work for.
What's an epiphany?
An epiphany is like a realization.
I think I just had an epiphany.
Epiphany. That you have TikTok brain. You got a squirrel attention span, bro.
No,
got distracted
no.
so easily.
It was. It has me tripping. Like I said, we mentioned this over and over and over again. God works in mysterious ways, and
always. I think for me, it was more like
just never know, man.
I have the work. I have the word work has a negative connotation in my mind. If I'm doing work, it's something like I gotta take time out of my day to do. But if I switch it to the fact like, hey, me going for a walk, me reading a book, me doing a puzzle, whatever, that's work. But it's something that I want to do. I don't know what you could call it. If you didn't call it work, what would you call it? It's something that's making you better.
I love work. I am a workhorse.
Bro, it's like a character in a game. You're leveling up. It's XP. You're doing side quests, right?
Experience, productivity. I mean,
it's because
it's like, the way that I like to think about it, like too, is it's what's the purpose, right? Purpose is you. You are the purpose.
Right.
So whatever helps you grow, that's work. Because it's helping you grow. So that's why I'm saying, like the money and the paycheck, that's not the purpose. That's not why you do it. Otherwise, your whole life becomes work, and then work becomes miserable because you're working for money. Yeah. Which, as we mentioned, money can't buy you happiness, right? And not all the time or whatever. But whenever you're working because you're focused on growth, I mean, you can find anything enjoyable.
Because like the whole work thing, I didn't even think about money once. I was just thinking about other stuff.
I think it's just switching your perspective on it.
I mean, I know it's work, but it's just more like.
I think Derek touched base kind of on it. Like, what's the purpose? What's the purpose behind it? Oh, hey, I'm doing this. For example, for me at least, I work out. I eat healthy so I can have good health. Mm-hmm. That's my purpose behind that.
Okay.
I go to church. I read the Bible with you guys. I do this podcast, Confessions, with you guys in order to build. I pray to God in order to build my relationship with God. That's my purpose for it. That's work to me.
It's like your attributes, right? Your different character attributes. There's this part.
Family.
Putting in the skill points.
Exactly. Bro, life is a video game, bro. Life is a game.
Family.
Open world.
I go spend time with family. I go do this with family. I talk to my family in this matter. in order to build my relationship with my family.
Yeah, and gain XP
That-
in your family.
Gain XP, it's work. I'm working on it. I'm working on myself. And it all falls down to the purpose behind it, you know? And if you, for example, tie that quote-unquote work to a negative purpose, then you're not going to want to do it. You're going to be like, man, fuck.
No, I wouldn't
don't wanna
say
fucking do
tying it
It's
to a negative
Like,
purpose.
if the purpose is money, then you're going to be miserable.
All right, well, what if I go a little bit more extreme, right? You're working all day.
Let's go
You have
extreme.
you have an hour or two to yourself, but you spend the hour or two scrolling through TikTok, maybe watching a movie, scrolling through YouTube, watching a YouTube video, you know, being on your phone. Those aren't necessarily making you better, but there's something that are gonna keep you mentally okay. Is that still work, or is it wasting time at that point now?
I consider that as a waste of time. I don't like doing that. So
Do you like watching anime?
It depends.
I
on what
usually
helps you
don't
build.
watch it though, but
Well,
I
when you
like
do-
I throw it on in the background type stuff. It's more entertainment. That's brain rot. It's not necessarily productive,
Mhm.
you know. And I
But-
always consider work as being productive.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
As productive, but there are things that you can enjoy, like because I enjoy watching anime, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like that's one thing that I enjoy, and that because I'm watching anime, I understand I can't watch this all the time. I can't
Mhm.
just do every day watching anime.
Exactly.
Right? I can set apart 30 minutes or something like that every day to watch something.
In moderation,
But that's
alright.
that's for me. That's my own personal downtime, right?
Yeah.
And in a way, it's like, all right, let me just rest. This is my rest, right? I'm just watching. This is something that I enjoy, and it brings me a level of peace. So it's like this in and of itself. Maybe it's not productive in any real like sense, business wise or whatever, but that's fine. I'm willing to take that loss because it just brings me enjoyment.
That's kind of the wave I'm on right there too. It's like,
See,
yeah.
me, I'm trying to not be that way. I find more enjoyment in work. I don't know.
I think
being
you've always been
productive.
like that though since
Like,
we
well,
started this
Like
podcast.
even don't get it wrong, I'm not perfect. I'll sometimes catch myself doom scrolling like, damn, I need to hop off, and it's been like 30 minutes past. I'm like, fuck,
Mhm.
like I just wasted 30 minutes. Ragu, lock in.
Once
bro.
that dopamine leaves, you're like, damn.
Lock, and it's not even that either, bro. Right? It gives you dopamine, but I don't know. I start thinking about it like it's draining me. It's just negative, even if technically dopamine's like a high in a way, right? It gives you a hit. But I'm just like, fuck. I just got drained. You know?
I also find like there are some things that can bring you together. Like for example, I saw going to watch the Chainsaw Man movie, right? I wanted to go watch it, but also I saw it as an opportunity to spend time with Tommy because I don't get to spend much time with him anymore. So I also was like, you know what? We both enjoy this show. We can go watch this together. That right there, I was working on my relationship with him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, see, something like that. I can see it as work, but then you're doing something like, hey, something that's gonna make you mentally okay, like kind of like getting an ice cream, you know, on a hot
Getting
summer
an
day.
ice
After,
Fuck
you know,
that.
something like that.
If you're like for me,
One
right,
time.
well, on Sundays, right? On Sundays, the Cowboys play. I watch every Cowboy game with my dad because I know that he enjoys that.
Building that relationship with
Right.
your pops.
And so I'm watching the game. I enjoy the football game, but I'm mainly doing it because I want to watch this game with my dad. I wouldn't care to really like. I would probably have it on in the background if I was by myself, but I focus on going to watch it with my dad and spending time with him. So like there are certain things that you can watch or that you can enjoy, and it's not so much as a non-productive waste of time because you know what, I'm doing this because of I get to share this experience with somebody, and I think sharing the experience is more of an indicator that it can be productive, right? Like I don't know, it could be anything. Like I said, like with Tommy last night, I saw it as an opportunity to share an experience and make a memory with him.
That closed it up a little bit because I was having that dilemma. I was like, dang, if I take a break, I'm failing. If I take a 30-minute break, if I watch a movie real quick, I'm failing, or I'm behind, or I'm wasting time, or whatever. But I'm trying to get out of that mindset because, like as we just read, God, the possessions, you know, those aren't the thing I'm chasing. I'm chasing those skill points and everything, family, mental, spiritually, and then money would be like last, but it's just a byproduct of everything else.
See,
Oh, what's that?
maybe I'm like on the extreme end on it.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
We could go a little bit more
But
extreme, and that's why I wanted to
At the
ask.
same time, I think I'm also in a different position, I guess, than you guys. You know, like I don't necessarily have. I don't want to sound negative or whatever.
It's like you're in a suit.
Sound negative or dark.
No wonder you're like
All alone.
a darkness.
Darkness.
Batman. I don't want to sound negative or just like that. I guess.
Just say it, bro.
Dark.
You're already looking.
But
over there.
I don't. My parents, my dad's he's in Mexico. All my siblings, they do their own thing, and I just have my mom, and I speak to her every day. I don't see her every day, if I'm being honest, but I don't know. My family's not. You guys known this. We're not too big on family, like stuff like that. So that's something for me that, like I said, I'm in a different position. So, and
Like if you did have that, that's something that you would work on.
more than likely. I mean, even now that, as you guys know, that's one of my dreams. I want to be able to bring my family together. But I was speaking to you about this the other night. I feel like in a way I have to build my attributes, right, and earn each one of their respects to where, hey, my word is law. Hey, we're gonna be
watch this movie together.
We're gonna be a fucking family now.
Dude,
you
it
know?
is crazy too,
Yeah.
because I didn't really talk to my mom or sister till I was in like high school.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is possible to make it happen for sure.
I believe so, and I just want it a certain way, if I'm being honest. And in order for it to be a certain way, I believe I have to earn each one of their respects. And how do I earn that level of status? By becoming the best Ragu that I could potentially be. So that's what I'm working towards, and that's why I'm so dialed in. And then my parents, bro, they're old, if I'm being honest. They're both in their mid-60s now, and that's why I'm so tough on myself on not wasting time. Don't waste time. Don't, for example, going maybe a little bit more on the extreme side, like, hey, cut that shit out. Hey, 30 minutes an hour, that's too much. Hey, lock the fuck back in. Go do something. Go be productive. Because I want to be able to hurry the fuck up and achieve my dreams, achieve my goals, become that man in order to give my parents that, and I'd rather give it my all right now than, and let's just say, God forbid, my parents aren't able to see that, right? Experience that. I could say I gave it my all. I will give it my all, and
it's still gonna happen.
I believe, my parents support that, and that's something that I greatly appreciate. My mom, how I mentioned last podcast, I was over here kind of complaining to her, and like I was going through it, whatever, right? And she was like chill, relax, take a break. I was just like, Mom, I can't, Mom. I gotta keep going. I gotta stay locked in, right? I want to achieve my dreams. I want to achieve my goals. And she was just like, I know, son. I want you to do that too. So she understood. So that's why I'm a little bit more towards the extreme side, just because I'm on a different position.
But that's what I think. That's also what's great about having, all of our different perspectives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and
it's crazy how we all have different ideas, perspectives, and we're all still on the same.
Like we're on different stages, in different aspects of our life. Right?
But I'm like really grateful to have you guys, especially, just because you guys understand it, you guys get it, and you guys are literally the only people that can truly actually relate to it in whatever way, So a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people are like, man, this dude's crazy. He's fucking delusional. What the fuck's wrong with him? They don't get it, or they try to get it, but they don't really get it, But you guys are, I appreciate you guys for seeing the real me and understanding and also supporting it, So it's same vice versa back to you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great way to end the pod. Any final thoughts?
I'm good. There we go, bro. I was sharing a serious moment, laughing matter.
I was gonna say something out of pocket. I was gonna take some inspiration from Joey Diaz, but nah. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Joey Diaz.
I love you guys. Love Jesus. Love God. Have faith. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your morals. And Confessions Podcast. We'll see you guys at the top.
#1 podcast in the world. Subscribe if you haven't already. On the road to 100 subscribers. We're right there. So yeah. Love y'all. Catch you on the next one very soon.
Peace.
God bless.
Peace. Did it work?
I was gonna say.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. It's not. It hasn't done it yet. Oh, we're screwed, bro. We're still live. Dang it. Gotta do it the old-fashioned way.